Hi, Gaye DeRusso with the Majestic Rider. So let's talk about trainers. So there's not a lot of gaited trainers out there, although there are more than there used to be. And there's lots of trainers out there that think the gaited horses aren't difficult. And those are the trainers that usually really don't understand gaited horses, because gaited horses are difficult and they're wired differently. So they can do many different things and it can be very confusing. So you talk to someone and they're going to train your horse to gait and they go, oh, it's no big deal. It just has a bunch of different gears, more than another horse. They don't really know what they're talking about, okay? Because they're wired differently. And the way you get them to gait, you got to frame them up differently. And you have to invert their back and you have to round their back. And those help you to get the gaits. So it's not just basic training. Of course, they all need basic training, but the gait training is different. So some of them tell you they really know what they're doing, and some of them don't. And some of them do it naturally, like me and some other, trainers out there. We're going to take our time and get the horses to do it naturally. And there's other ones that are going to do it through angles and shoes and things of that nature. So that's something you want to ask ahead of time when you're taking your horse into trainings. How do you train the horses? What do you do with their feet? Is it anything special, or is it just basic training, making the horse supple? And then it's always good to talk to someone who's had their horse there and see if they were happy with the results and see what the horse went in for and how it came back and what it knew, and if the trainer helped them and showed them what to do. Now, I videotape all my horses in training, but a lot of people don't do that. That takes a lot of time, and a lot of trainers don't want to put that time in. They're tired when they go home. So some of us do that, some of us don't. It's not a normal thing. The other thing is, I'm a one-man show, and I like it that way because I have a little bit OCD, and I like to make sure the horses are perfect and I know everything about them. That's just me. Now, other ones, whether they're trying to make money or they're on the road traveling a lot, they aren't riding the horse. They either have an intern, they have students, apprentices, they have all sorts of other people riding the horse. And maybe while your horse is in training, there's 5 different people riding it. So even if it does something bad, you don't know because they don't tell you. So it's the same thing when you're buying horses. If there's been a lot of people riding the horse, nobody knows it really well because it's not just been one person the whole time. And so when you're checking out trainers, that's something you want to ask them. Are you the only one riding my horse? He's looking at the guy in the bushes, which he can't see at all, and I can hardly see. So I know I need to shorten my reins, breathe, because he's a little nervous, and I need to be ready in case that guy moves or breaks something that this horse might jump. That's just a normal thing. You're okay, Disco. So I'm going to talk to him for a minute. We're coming up. The guy's way to the left. And this scared the horses yesterday. So see, now he's starting to see them and he can hear the music. Hi! So, now he's doing better, but I'm still not positive how well he sees that guy. So let's let him look. He's blue and he's in the green, so it's difficult. Now this is not a spooky horse, so I know if I let him look, he's most likely going to see what it is and go, okay, I'm fine with that. For other horses, you don't want them to look because they're way too spooky and that would freak them out. You just take charge and start giving them stuff to do. Okay, so back to the trainers. So some trainers are riding the horses, just specifically them, and others aren't. I feed the horses. I know how much they drink. I know how much they eat. I know what their manure looks like. I know when they haven't gone to the bathroom. So I know a lot about that horse and how it is tolerating the situation. But if you don't ask, then it's really not the trainer's fault, because maybe they always have interns riding the horse. Maybe they're always on the road. And if you're paying a whole bunch of money and you want that person to train your horse, well, you better clarify that in the beginning. Because I've seen many people charge a lot of money and they're not even the ones training the horse. But, it's a business. That's how they're making money. And it's not like maybe their apprentices aren't great. Maybe they are great, but it depends who you think you're getting. And so you should be clear with them on that. Okay, so here's a decision. There's the irrigation tube. We want to go around it. We don't want to put our horse in any danger if we don't have to and we don't think it's safe. And that could wrap around his legs. So that's something with the trainers. And you know, it usually takes some months to condition a horse to gait, and some horses are quite easy. You just bring their head down or up and they can gait. It's just the owner didn't know what they were doing. So some of those can be quicker, but some of them will take a long time if they've been pacing or trotting for a long time. That conditioning takes time, and 30 days will help that horse, but that won't be the finish of it. You either have to finish it or it stays in training longer. Okay? But you can always take it home if you're not sure. Ride it some and put it back in training later when you get more money. But just be aware of who's training the horse. Let's go this way since we didn't go on a long time. Who's training the horse, and what they're doing with the horse. Because there's some horses, like I train them in the arena, I do all the groundwork, I ride them down the road, I ride them on the trail, I trailer them out if we have time to different places. But I do a lot of trail riding, and there's some people, you're going in for a specific problem and they don't even trail ride, so how are they going to fix that completely? They could work on it, but it's different. So like if somebody wants to send a horse to me, I always ask, what's the problem you're sending the horse in? And they go, well, when I ride my horse in large groups, he freaks out. And I would tell them, well, I don't ride in large groups, so I might have a couple of people with me, but I'm more going to be on my own. So if you need it to work in large groups, I think it's best for you to go to a different trainer, because I am not going to be able to fix that problem since I won't be able to work on it. Let's stop for a minute. But a lot of trainers won't do that. They won't say it at all, that they don't take the horse on the trail, or you want the horse ridden alone and they never ride it alone. They won't tell you that stuff, and they'll just take your money and train the horse and send it home, and you're like, why is he not fixed? Because they didn't work on what you actually wanted them there for. And I have people make a list on my paperwork, and I go through that list and try to make sure we've covered everything that they wanted fixed. Okay? So, know that all trainers are not the same. And it doesn't mean a non-gaited trainer can't train a gaited horse. They can, especially if the horse gaits easily. But just know, if you really need the specifics of a gaited horse trainer, you need to make sure it's one that really understands the quirks of gaited horses. If that horse can't canter and they go, well, you just kick it and you just run it and it'll canter. Well, no, they won't. Well, I lied. They will. They will canter, but it'll probably be disorganized. The horse will probably be scared out of its mind and probably be pacing and trotting and never get a really nice canter. These horses are different, and you got to kind of teach them step by step and reward every little trot. But it's difficult for them to canter if they're very pacey, or they don't have the balance, or they keep swapping leads as they go out. And they got to learn that balance, and they got to understand what's right, because it's harder for them. But if you treat them like a quarter horse, and it's a pacey one, and they just go, well, he'll slow down cantering after I canter him for an hour. Oh, he'll slow down. You're okay, buddy. So see, I just reassured him there when he got scared. And my reins are still short because he's looking around. Everything looks different, and it's kind of slippery. So when you take one of these horses that are pacey and you try to just run it around at the canter to get it to slow down, and you think, well, if I just do it for an hour, it'll get tired and slow down. It does get tired, but what it does when it gets tired is then it gets trippy and it starts falling down. And horses can pace really fast, so if you're just trying to run it into the canter and it doesn't understand the cues or anything, well, they will just pace faster and faster. Some horses can pace 30, 40 miles per hour. So you have to come up with different things so that horse understands what the canter is and what to do with its legs, and that takes time. And that, so see, he got a little scared here, and I just stayed relaxed, kept my hand wide. And he's like, where are we going? I'm like, we're going in the arena because that trail ride was short and you need some more work. So I work the horses hours. I already lunged him when I came in. I made him go over these poles. I spend hours with my horses. That's why I only have so many, and I don't have any help. So I don't want 13 horses because I can't handle it, and it would freak me out if I wasn't doing a good job with these horses, because that's just the way I am. But not everybody's like that. Some of them don't care if your horse doesn't get out every day, or it didn't get out a week because they were off giving a clinic in another town somewhere. So remember, just check, ask a lot of questions. Look around the barn, check the hay out, check the stall, see where the horse is being kept. And you want to make sure it's a safe situation, you feel comfortable. And then that trainer gives you updates, and if possible, some videos here and there. You don't have to do as many as I do, but you want something to show that that horse is being trained. I've talked to some people who sent their horses to me, and the horses really didn't know anything. And they said, oh, it's been to 2 trainers, but we don't think they did anything. And I said, did they send you any videos? They go, no. They kept saying they were gonna, but they didn't send any. Or they sent one and they were just sitting on the horse, or a student was on the horse. And I go, they didn't show you any of the things they were doing? And they go, nope. And I go, well, check it off as lesson learned, because your horse doesn't know anything, so I don't think they did teach it. But if the horse is not improving, remember, you can take it out of training. There's no reason for it to stay there and get hurt or something else. And find another trainer that you feel comfortable with, or take on the task yourself if you can. Or put it in with a good trainer that does all the basics on them. We're going to do our turn on the forehand. Do all the basics on them. And then you work on the gait or do some online lessons, and I'll help you. Okay? But just know we're not all the same. And there's also, just so you know, there's not one way to do something, just like in life. There's not one way to get something done. There's about 20 different ways to get something done. And we all do things a little bit differently, and it doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong, because some trainers will make fun of other trainers, and those are the trainers that, like, why would they do that? If they're such a good trainer, they shouldn't need to look down on any other trainers. But people who make fun of other trainers, look down on them and all of that, are people that need to do that to make themselves look better. The other ones just try to make ourselves look better by showing you our work and not demeaning other people. Okay? So just know there's different ways to do things. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just what works for you. Okay?